Hello everyone and welcome to the channel It's Funny to Tears. Today I've got a story for you that's a masterclass in how not to do karaoke. It involves a very confident friend, a very classic song, and a level of public embarrassment that still makes me laugh just thinking about it. So, picture this. It's a Friday night, and my group of friends decides to hit up a new karaoke bar that just opened downtown. The place is packed. The energy is electric. There are people singing their hearts out. Some are amazing, some are, well, enthusiastic. And then there's my friend, let's call him Leo. Now Leo is one of those guys who has an unshakable, almost mythical level of self-confidence. If confidence were a sport, Leo would be an Olympic gold medalist. He's the kind of person who will try anything once, convinced he'll be a natural. So when the karaoke sign-up sheet comes around, he doesn't just sign his name, he practically carves it into the paper. We're all having a good time, cheering for the singers, when Leo leans over to me with a glint in his eye. "I've picked the perfect song," he whispers, like he's sharing a state secret. I ask him what it is, expecting some obscure indie track or a modern pop hit. He just smiles mysteriously and says, "You'll see, it's a classic, a real crowd pleaser." My other friends and I are intrigued. We start guessing. "Is it Don't Stop Believin'?" asks Sarah. "No, too predictable," says Leo. "Maybe some Queen?" suggests Mark. Leo shakes his head. Too much pressure to live up to Freddie. He was building this up like it was the performance of a lifetime. We were all on the edge of our seats. Finally, the moment arrives. The host calls out, "Next up we have Leo." The crowd gives a polite clap. Leo practically bounces to the stage, grabs the microphone, and gives the audience a little wave like he's a rock star greeting his adoring fans. He turns to the DJ, gives him a thumbs up, and the music starts. And what's the song? The iconic, the legendary, the vocally demanding masterpiece, "I Will Always Love You" by Whitney Houston. A collective gasp goes through our table. You have to understand, this isn't a song you just try. This is a song you need a government permit to even attempt in public. It's the Mount Everest of karaoke. Leo closes his eyes, takes a deep breath, and for the first few lines, he's actually not terrible. He's quiet, a little off-key, but he's managing. He's singing the "If I Should Stay" part with so much fake emotion, clutching the mic stand like it's the love of his life leaving on a train. We're all looking at each other, half impressed, half terrified. He gets through the first verse and his confidence visibly swells. He starts strutting around the small stage a bit. He even does a little spin. The crowd is watching, a mix of curiosity and dread on their faces. They can feel it coming. We can all feel it coming. The part, the big one, the "Am I dumb" moment that defines the entire song. The music builds. The quiet part is over. The drums kick in. Leo braces himself. He takes another dramatic deep breath, points a finger to the sky, and then he lets it rip. But what comes out of his mouth is not the soaring, angelic note we all know. It's a sound that can only be described as a cat being surprised by a vacuum cleaner. It was a high-pitched, warbling screech that cracked so hard it sounded like a window shattering in slow motion. The entire bar goes silent for a split second. The background music is still playing. But every single person has stopped what they were doing to stare at the stage. Then the silence is broken. First, it's a single giggle from the back, then another, and then the entire room erupts in laughter. It wasn't mean-spirited laughter. It was pure, uncontrollable, "I can't believe what I just heard" laughter. But here's the best part. Does Leo stop? Is he embarrassed? Absolutely not. This is Leo we're talking about. He just opens his eyes, looks at the laughing crowd with a completely straight face, and then he tries again. He takes another breath and lets out another sound, this time like a pterodactyl with a sore throat. It was even worse than the first time. Now people are literally crying with laughter. The bartender has to lean against the counter for support. A couple in the front row are holding onto each other, shaking. Our friend Sarah has her head buried in her arms on the table, her shoulders heaving. And Leo, he's still going. He abandons the high notes and decides to just power through the rest of the song with pure, unadulterated volume. He's shouting the lyrics now, completely offbeat, marching back and forth on the stage. He's pointing at random people in the audience as he screams, "I will always love you," like he's threatening them. At this point, the performance has transformed from a simple karaoke attempt into a piece of avant-garde performance art. It was so bad, it looped all the way around to being brilliant. He was committed. You have to give him that. He finished the entire song, holding the final note for an uncomfortably long time, his face turning a worrying shade of red. When the music finally faded, there was a moment of stunned silence again, and then the loudest, most genuine applause of the entire night. People were on their feet, cheering and whistling. They weren't cheering for his singing talent, because there was none. They were cheering for his sheer, magnificent audacity. He took a bow, blew a kiss to the crowd, and swaggered back to our table as if he had just won a Grammy. He sat down, took a big gulp of water and said, "See, told you it was a crowd pleaser." And we just lost it all over again. We were laughing so hard we couldn't even speak. To this day, whenever anyone in our friend group suggests karaoke, we all just look at Leo and start laughing. He's become a local legend at that bar. People still talk about the Whitney Houston guy. And you know what? It taught me a valuable lesson. Sometimes it's not about being the best, it's about having the courage to be spectacularly, unforgettably bad and owning it completely. It's about creating a memory that's so funny it makes you cry with laughter years later. So, what's your most memorable karaoke disaster? I'm sure you got some good ones. Share your stories in the comments below. I would absolutely love to read them. Maybe we can do a part 2 featuring your hilarious tales. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed Leo's story, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. That's funny to tears. See you in the next one.